What's up guys, Indeimaus here, and I'm back with another video that I'm sure you're very excited for. So I've been playing a butt ton of Resident Evil 7 lately, and it's really invigorated my love for the franchise. I've already beaten it like 3 times, but I still feel the urge to return and get the remaining achievements. I don't even care about achievements, to be honest. It's just an excuse to be able to play the game again. And I'm sure like a lot of people, I wasn't the biggest fan of Resident Evil 6. I tried so hard to get some enjoyment out of it, but fuck me, it didn't end well. But I'm happy to say Resident Evil 7 has returned us to those survival horror roots, and I won't be spoiling anything major in this video, but if you're one of those people who thought Resident Evil 7 wasn't a proper RE game because it was set in first person, please go play it or watch someone play it and then you can eat your words. Regardless, here we are with the third waifu video. Oh my god. But if you've been around this channel for a while now, you know these waifu videos are just an excuse to discuss games that I'm enjoying at the time in the most preposterous way possible. So we'll be counting down my personal 10 favorite ladies from Resident Evil. So there's 5 honorable mentions at the start and then the 5 main ones, the 5 big ones. No, look, you know what I'm saying. Let's just get into the list. Firstly, a big shout out to our girl Mia Winters from the previously mentioned Resident Evil 7. She's the driving point of the plot for our main protagonist, Ethan Winters, and in a very similar way to Silent Hill 2, our wife, who we presume dead, has recently emerged and sent us a creepy invitation to come find her in a dank and remote location. But unlike Silent Hill 2, Mia warns us to stay away in the video, instead of saying, hey, come get me, baby. I may be remembering Silent Hill 2 wrong. But Ethan Winters doesn't listen and he ventures forth into the most nope house that I've ever seen in any video game, which we find out is a residence where evil resides. Our second honorable mention is going to the awfully sad Lisa Trevor, who was actually suggested by my good pal Kadikarus when I sent out the question on my Twitter, so feel free to direct any judgment or blame towards him. She's probably one of the creepiest abominations in the Resident Evil remake, but also has this incredibly sad backstory. She was this human test subject at the age of 14 who was forced to undergo this plethora of illegal and biological experiments conducted by the one and only Umbrella Corporation. And the way she crept into the cabin just after you, and the only indication that she's following you is that you hear that door opening sound effect once you're deep into the cabin, was one of the most terrifying moments I've had in gaming, and it was just a fucking sound effect. But even though she's a gross human deformity, apparently Kadikarus would still get down with that. So speaking of abominations, there seems to be a theme going on here in this honorable mention section of women that have been turned into disgusting beasts. I'm talking about our last Resident Evil 7 mention of the list, Marguerite Baker. Oh baby, she's an incredibly rude lady and very similar to my first date with my girlfriend. She called me a cocksucker and a son of a bitch, and it only gets worse from there on out. I'm kidding. My girlfriend is a lovely woman. I'm just gonna keep digging myself in this one, I guess. So she's the bug boss in the game, and eventually she deforms into the most atrocious looking half woman, half spider abnormality that I've ever seen. It's just, oh god, it's fucking burnt into my brain. I watched someone play this game after beating it myself, and they ran out of ammo in the boss fight and they had to knife her to death. They had to get right up in that crotch area and stab it until it stopped moving. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Literally, this might be it, but we're fine. Keep going, keep going. Oh keep severing, keep severing, keep severing, keep severing. We just beat her! Oh my god!
Oh my god. I don't want to discuss this one any further. So Resident Evil 5 was a bit of a hit or miss for a lot of people. It was when the series started to really head into that over-the-top action that slowly become Resident Evil 6. It looks great, guys. But personally, I quite enjoyed playing this one through co-op, featuring the way too buff Chris Redfield and, of course, Shiva Alomar. She's unique to Resident Evil 5, and I'm pretty sure we'll never hear or see of her again outside of this, but honestly, that's okay with me. She was introduced to assist Chris because she knew the area. Let's keep this between us, but I think she carried Chris a little as well. Not literally. He looks like he's fucking 250 kilos of pure muscle. I'm amazed he can even hold himself up at this point. And spoilers for Resident Evil 7, skip a few, whatever the time is on the screen, skip to that to avoid this ending spoiler of Resident Evil 7. I'm giving you a big warning right now. But I'm glad Redfield looks a lot more like a human being now at the end of Resident Evil 7. I was worried that he was going to explode or something after punching all those fucking boulders. What the fuck is going on? This can't be normal. What happened? But yeah, Shiva Alomar. She's in the honorable mentions. I don't have anything else to say about her. And lastly, for shoutouts, how can we forget Ashley Graham, the President's daughter from Resident Evil 4. And the only reason she didn't make it into the actual top 5 is because she annoyed the hell out of me and wouldn't shut the heck up and just sit in the bin when I told her to. But apart from that, she's pretty cute and wears some sick-ass knee-high boots. And then she also has the nerve to tell you off for looking up her skirt with a rifle scope. What's the deal with that?
Hey, what are you looking at? Oh, you pervert.
So now we'll be moving on to the actual top 5, starting off with an original rookie member of the Stars Bravo team who has been in countless RE titles, Rebecca Chambers. So I'm going to be honest with you guys here, when I played the original Resident Evil, I never actually chose to play as Chris Redfield, so I didn't actually get to know Rebecca until I played Resident Evil 0, which of course is the one where she's one of the main playable characters. She's this expert in chemistry and medicine and is the only one who can mix herbs in 0, since Billy Cohen is this muscle-bound brute who apparently can't just crush plants together into a piece of paper. Maybe it's a little more complex than that, but that's how I see it. But don't worry, boys, he's got this sick tribal tattoo going for him, so that's pretty cool. Right, guys? And there's going to be this pattern, which is going to start becoming pretty obvious soon with a lot of these video game ladies that I seem to be invested in, and they all have short, dark hair. I don't know why. It happened in Final Fantasy as well. I don't know. I'll get into that with a different girl on the list. Rebecca can actually die in the original Resident Evil if you're not fast enough, which I only recently looked up. Again, I actually never played as Redfield. Every time, even the remake, I just played through as the other character that I'm not going to mention because spoilers. Oh, fuck. But not worry not, ladies and gentlemen, that is not her canon fate. That death is not real. That's just a failure state in a very specific situation. She's alive as far as the community is concerned. And I don't have a whole lot more to say about Miss Chambers. She certainly made 0 a lot more enjoyable, personally, for that. That game just had way too many fucking animal-based zombies, alright? It was so weird. The scorpion, it drove me nuts. The fucking zombie monkeys, just bullshit, man. I didn't like it. She also turns up in Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode, but technically that's not a canon storyline. It's just this gauntlet zombie killing side mode. But, you know, it's cool to see her model upgraded with a more recent Resident Evil, and I guess we'll just wait and see if we ever see Miss Chambers again. Hopefully we do. This one might be a bit of an odd choice, I'm not sure, but when I played Revelations 2, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't completely awful. I played it all the way through co-op, so that probably made it a lot more enjoyable as well, but as far as I know, the Revelation games were well received for taking the series back to its roots a little more with the heavy atmosphere and the cramped hallways. And this is where we're introduced to one of Barry Burton's daughters, Moira Burton, as one of the playable characters. And like I mentioned before, if you guys saw my Final Fantasy 15 list of ladies, you'll know that I have this thing for short, dark hair girls, and the cherry on the cake for this one is Moira has this whole punk rock looking getup with an As the World Burns shirt on, which I'm assuming is this sweet ass band in the Resident Evil universe. I actually looked it up to see if it was a real band. There are real bands with the same name, but none of them look like they match the one from the game. Throughout the game, Moira makes a lot of sassy remarks at the situations they're in and has a love for cursing, which I know isn't for some people, but fuck yeah, lad. The way she notes on she's going to survive the fuck out of this just makes me love this character even more. And you want to know a huge bonus to Moira? If you ever got in a relationship with this fictional in-game character, which I'm completely not judging anyone on, you'd be a part of the Burton family, which means you get Barry fucking Burton as a father. And whilst he may be a slight traitor, he did it for his family. Can I actually put Barry somewhere on this list? Hell, I'll just add him in this portion. Barry is the man. Definitely in the remake. Look at this beard. Hell yeah, boy. In summary, Moira is a badass young lady with a bad mouth and will sass even the worst of the worst in Revelations 2, and we'll see her out with this one-liner. Ask me my fucking name for once, you dinosaur. It's just perfect. You dinosaur. What an insult. Hell yeah, the leading lady of Resident Evil 2, arguably the best entry in the Resident Evil franchise. We have Chris's younger sister and member of the human rights organization TerraSave, Claire Redfield. She's also one of the playable characters in Revelations 2 alongside Moira, and including Barry, that's like an A+ team right there. She's always repping that sick red vest throughout the franchise, except Revelations 2 where it changes into a red suit jacket or something. I don't know, I prefer that sweet vest / shorts combo. It's like a one piece. I don't know. Resident Evil 2, those were different times, man. Game models in the PlayStation 1 era didn't quite make sense in what they were wearing, and it was just always part of the charm for me. And I'm sure, like a lot of other people out there, I'm really excited to see what happens with this Resident Evil 2 remake they're apparently making. They've been really silent about it though. It's kind of concerning, although I'm pretty sure they're still on that whole Resident Evil 7 like hype train. They're going to keep promoting that for now, and then they'll go on to Resident Evil 2. But hell yeah, man, a Resident Evil 2 remake. Can't wait to see Claire, can't wait to see Leon. Just that whole game like in a new light, in a new remade engine. Oh man, it's gonna be fucking beautiful. But yeah, Claire Redfield, one of the OG characters. Big fan of her model design, her character, her red vest combo. Looking forward to seeing more of her in the future. Ada Wong is probably the coolest chick in Resident Evil. She's this mysterious red dress wearing secret agent who appears in and out of situations throughout the franchise, and she was actually initially recruited by a rival company to Umbrella, and that's how she got caught up in this whole mess of a timeline we have in this game series. She's first seen in Resident Evil 2, but I remember her making more of an impact on me in Resident Evil 4, maybe because I wasn't a stupid kid by that point, but honestly, my favorite design of Ada might actually be Resident Evil 6 one, which may cause some people to send me anthrax in the mail. People also assume that it was her talking on the phone in the Resident Evil 7 first hour demo, but then we found out it was probably Zoe, but that would have made quite the twist. I actually quite vividly remember her campaign in Resident Evil 6. What a nightmare. What I did, this was, you're in a submarine or something, and I actually played it co-op, and it was the most meaningless co-op I've ever seen, because the second player is just playing like this hunk clone, there's just this masked soldier, and there's these bees. It's just, what the fuck is this? I don't know, maybe this is the most, everyone's favorite campaign from 6, but god damn, what a mess. And hey, what do you know, another dark-haired, pale lady, and she's even half Asian. Hello. Fuck. I know it seems awfully obvious that this was coming, but Jill Valentine is not only my favorite female character from Resident Evil franchise, she's probably my favorite character as a whole. Playing as her through the original game holds a special place in my gaming memories, and then playing with a remaster with her again made all those memories flood back in. And I don't know what it is exactly, her voice acting in Resident Evil 1 was atrociously bad.
Don't scare me.
That's what I was going to say.
But just take a look at this. It's forest. Oh my god.
It's awful.
But hell, she was the master of unlocking, and that's what we're here for.
Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks.
And I'm mainly talking about the 1 and 3 versions of Jill. I don't know what happened to Resident Evil 5 Jill. I know she went through all those various experiments and they caused her hair to go blonde as a side effect, but I do not like that as much as the originals. And don't even get me started on these god-awful movie versions of it. I'd love to see her make a return in Resident Evil 8 or maybe even like DLC for 7, although that's incredibly unlikely. I like to imagine Capcom would return her to her former looking self and not all this bollocks with like a red crystal in her chest. She's also an incredible piano player shown in this mean Moonlight Sonata rendition. And I remember seeing this piece of promo art or hearing that Jill Valentine died and I instantly called bullshit, which luckily ended up being true as far as we know thus far. She's still alive and kicking somewhere. And how can we forget Nemesis? I remember playing this again a few years back on my Vita. I know, what the hell is that, right? And Jill was probably the only human being crazy enough to wear this and go toe-to-toe with an RPG wielding Nemesis who can actually chase you through loading doors, which scared the shit out of me the first time I experienced that. Jill is my current Steam display picture, and here's hoping that we get to see her again in a future installment. Please, Capcom, please. Give me Jill back, guys. Come on.